In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to write killer faceless YouTube scripts. Have you looking like this out here, okay? So why should you trust me? I've gotten about 200 million views on faceless YouTube in about 1.5 years. In full transparency, a lot of this is shorts, but trust me, I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to long form. So the roadmap for this video is I'm going to show you an insanely simple way to write killer hooks that every single top channel is using. I'm going to tell you all the lessons I've learned from reading numerous books about storytelling, and I'm going to show you how to write a compelling call to action to get your viewers to watch your videos again and again. So why should we even care about scripting? It's easily the most important part of actually making the video once you have a good idea and good packaging. Now, this is maybe even a more complicated topic than just scripting is, and I can make numerous videos about this. Let me know if you want to see that. But a really easy way to validate your idea and packaging is your idea should have gone viral on YouTube before at least once, or some other social media platform, okay? This is the easiest way to make sure that it'll go viral again. Now, you can come up with a completely novel idea that nobody has ever done, but that's a lot more difficult, and I'm trying to show you the easiest, most surefire way to do this, right? So if your idea has already gone viral on Reddit, if there's a thread that's gone viral on Twitter, if there's already a YouTube video from a few years ago that went viral on it, and you have a new way to present this idea, it's worth writing a script about, okay? Your packaging, one thing, it should ignite an insane amount of curiosity, okay? And in addition, it should be immediately obvious what the video is about. Pretty simple. If it checks off those two, if when you're making the packaging, you want to see the video, you know it's good, okay? If you can show someone and in less than a second, they can understand what this video is going to be about, that's also a very good thing, and you're well on your way to having a banger video. So once you have these first two steps down, we need to start the script. So as promised, I'm going to show you the insanely simple way to write killer hooks that every single top channel uses, okay? And that is to start in the middle of the action while confirming the click. Okay, so say you're making some true crime video or something like that. You want to start when he's about to get arrested. The FBI, it's a cool summer night. This house is surrounded by 20 FBI cars, whatever. Start in the middle of the action. There's numerous ways to write hooks that aren't like this. You could do teasers, other things like that. But what I've found is by far the most effective way is to start in the middle of the action. And you can even check any top channel like Fern and see that in almost all their videos, they do exactly this. So a few other things that you should check off in your hook: be emotional and remarkable. You need to get emotions fired up. You need to have the audience feel scared for the characters. You need to have them root for the characters. You need to have them hate the characters, love the characters. The most intense emotions that you can brew up, you need to be doing that, okay? And it needs to be remarkable. It needs to be interesting, something someone hasn't heard before, something worth remarking on. Look up the definition of remarkable, okay? The second thing, it needs to set the stakes for the video. So, for example, in this video, The Hunt for America's Smartest Killer, which is about Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, it sets up the stakes where all of this could go wrong. What's going to happen when he gets caught? What's going to happen when he delivers this bomb and someone dies, right? Like, what is at stake? What are people going to lose? Just really quickly, evolutionary psychology. Us humans are really loss averse. We don't want to lose things. Think about when we're evolving. That really hurts our chances of survival. If we lose that food, if we lose a family member, if we lose our shelter, if we lose anything that we had before, that drastically hurts our chances of survival. Therefore, our brains are hardwired to look out for these things, okay? By the way, if you like this, me going super in depth onto like the psychological reasons why you should do certain things, I find it super interesting. Just let me know. I'll make more videos about that. Okay, and the final thing, the final checklist for your hook is to not give away the conclusion while teasing what's actually going to happen, right? Pretty self-explanatory. You don't want to tell the viewer what is actually going to happen, what the big payoff is going to be. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You need to make them super interested of what the conclusion is going to be without actually showing it to them. And then one extra thing you can do is +1 but statement or an extra curiosity loop that you can add. So for example, let's go back to this video, The Hunt for America's Smartest Killer. In the video, he says, like, they set the stages of Ted Kaczynski being a very smart guy, right? Which, by the way, that confirms the click right there, that he's the smartest serial killer. And they say, but right before the end of the hook, but he made some pretty dumb mistakes and it's going to end up getting him caught or something along those lines. So that doesn't give away the conclusion entirely, and it does tease it. And it is a but statement, right? How did this 180 IQ serial killer make some dumb mistakes that got him caught and ended his whole plan, right? Now, you need to take time on your hook. Your hook should be probably at least a third of the time you spend for your entire script should be on your hook, making sure every word is perfect. Every word drives the story forward, adds to the emotion, to the intense, the intrigue, the drama, the tension, everything, okay? And once you have that down, we can move on to the rest of the video, which is storytelling. Stop looking at ways to script your YouTube videos. Stop looking up videos like this. Look up storytelling videos. At the end of the day, what is a video? It's just a story in video format. And so you need to study top storytellers, top storytelling books, right? Some good ones are Save the Cat. It's some book about Pixar and Steve Jobs. That one's really good too. Honestly, those two are the only ones you really need. But I'm going to just give you a quick summary, the 80-20 right here, but I highly recommend you also read the books just to really implement this into your head. The biggest thing you need is storytelling is change and emotion, okay? So everything, there needs to be a purpose of everything. We need to be driving towards some goal. Why? That's what humans have evolved to do. We drive towards, we need to go catch this deer, right? We need to go eat this deer. We need to make this hut to live in, right? Everything is goal-oriented, okay? And then anything that isn't goal-oriented is emotion-oriented, right? Like love, for example, right? Friendship, all of this. Emotion-oriented. Everything with humans is about change, about goals, and emotion. And so a really easy way to boil this down is the Dan Harmon story circle. You can look this up online. Keep it in mind when you're writing your story. So you start off with your character is in a zone of comfort. They're chilling. They're doing good, right? But they want something bad, okay? Then they enter an unfamiliar situation they've never been in before. It's kind of weird. They adapt to it. They get what they wanted, but they pay a heavy price for it. And now they adjust and they return to their familiar situation, having changed, right? So, in other words, very simple way to say this. Who is it about? What do they want? Why can't they get it? What do they do about that to overcome these obstacles? Why doesn't that work? And then finally, how do they actually overcome these obstacles and how does it end? If you keep this in mind, if you write out exactly what your video is about, if you write out who is about all of this, you will be well on your way to writing a very good story. Now you may be saying, my video is not about people, it's about objects. It's not. Every single story is about human beings. Any story you can think about is about humans, is about human emotions, is about human conflict, is about humans wanting something, achieving something. It's never about a thing, right? I dare you to find one single story that is actually about, maybe it's disguised as it's about, the plane or the submarine or, whatever. But it's all about the humans. It's about the pilots. It's about the drivers. It's about the captains, okay? So just keep that in mind. Who are the people that are driving your story forward? That's way more interesting than what are the things that are in the story. As I kind of touched on earlier there, you want to also make sure the audience can care about a character. They either have to love a character or they have to hate a character. Or maybe they can also understand a character. Right? It's always about the whys of human behavior. Back to our evolution. When a character behaves selflessly and puts the needs of the group before their own, we experience a deep primal craving to see them recognized by the group as a hero and hailed. And vice versa, right? If someone puts their own needs before the group, we feel an urge to see their punishment. So stories often satisfy our moral outrage. And more, as I was talking about earlier, moral outrage is the ancient lifeblood of human storytelling, right? So you need to find at least some way to put in your character's whys. Why are they doing things? Now, I'm going to add some more things that are more YouTube specific, not so much about stories. And adding these at the end will really help polish it off. But if you don't start with a good storytelling foundation, none of these will even matter. Number 1, contrast, okay? When you're writing, always use but and therefore, never and then. There's a great South Park video not South Park video. There's a video about the South Park creators talking about this. So if you're writing a story and you have this happens and then this happens and then this awful story. If you have this happens, but then all of a sudden this happens, therefore this happens, great story. Really easy way to make sure that your story is moving in a linear in a linear fashion and it's contrasting, right? You have to have something really good happens, right? Take this Ted Kaczynski video, for example. He gets into Harvard, really good, but he becomes depressed. Okay, that's really bad. But then this professor takes an interest in him. Oh, okay, that's good, right? But the professor wants to add him to the CIA's mind control program and ends up permanently ruining his life. Okay, that's bad, right? Therefore, as I said, he kills a bunch of people, okay? Like, you need to come up with the individual beats of your story and then say, are they good and bad, and make them contrast. Really good, really bad. Really good, really bad, okay? And then one other thing, you need to have constant reminders what's at stake and progressive complications. Each one will have to be greater than the last until the last one the audience cannot imagine anything further, right? Every single time you need to raise the stakes. You need to raise the complications, right? But his next problem would be his biggest one yet. But it was about to get a whole lot worse. But he was about to lose even more than before, right? Like, everything needs to be getting worse and worse and worse, or better and better and better, but usually worse and worse and worse. And then one other thing, teasers, right? Just say, but something will happen, but we'll get to that later, right? This would actually turn out to be the end of his career, but we'll get to that later. Something like that to keep the audience interested and make sure it sounds conversational and normal in your script. So that's all I have for scripts. But if you don't listen to these productivity tips, you'll probably never even get your script written in the first place, and none of this will matter. So the number one thing is the 5 minutes rule, right? If you really don't want to write your scripts, which I don't a lot. I'm procrastinating writing a script by making this YouTube video right now, right? But if you really don't want to write your script, like, you just cannot imagine sitting down to write that script, because scripting is one of my least favorite parts. It sucks, but at the end of the day, it's so important that you just need to get it done. And you can't outsource this until you have some like really good writers. So you need to be doing the scripting for your videos for a long time probably. But the biggest thing that's helped me is the 5 minutes rule. Say, I don't have to write the full script. I don't have to even write the full hook. I don't even have to write a paragraph. I just have to work on my script for 5 minutes while doing nothing else. Close all your tabs, close all your applications, set a timer for 5 minutes, okay? And just work on your script for 5 minutes. That's all you have to do, right? You're lying in bed, you don't want to do it. I'll just do it for 5 minutes. Get up, do it for 5 minutes, and 9 times out of 10, after those 5 minutes are up, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm in the flow now. I see some things I want to change. I have some good ideas, and all of a sudden you're off to the races. This 5 minutes rule works for everything in life, by the way. So I'm putting you on real game right here. Okay. And the second tip that I have is write an awful first draft. Just get it all out, right? So once you have all your research done, which I'll talk about here, just write your full first draft. Don't go through and edit things. Just train of thought, just however your consciousness is flowing to write the words, just take it right from your brain onto the paper and just get it all out, right? And it can suck. It can sound like a 5-year-old wrote it. It can have none of these things that I added before, right? But you just need to get this framework out. It's 10 times easier to edit something that you've already wrote than to write it from scratch, right? And to edit it along the way. So you need to get it all out, edit it along the way. And the final tip, which I touched on, you need to use ChatGPT for help with the research, right? This is an incredibly powerful tool for research only. Don't use ChatGPT to write your scripts. All right, full screen. I'm talking to you. Do not use ChatGPT to write your scripts. I don't care what you think. You're so smart with your prompts. You think that you're an exception. You can use ChatGPT. That's what I thought. You're wrong. Okay. Do not use it. Write it in your own words. There's something inexplicable about ChatGPT scripts that sounds so awful. No matter how hard you script, no matter how hard you try to prompt it, it's just never going to sound as good as if you write it yourself. Okay. So please write it yourself. Use ChatGPT for help with your research. The new deep research tool is really useful. Just go to ChatGPT, click on deep research, and then it will do deep research and get a bunch of sources, a bunch of things to help you that is all fact checked. And that's a really useful tool. Use deep research. Do not use it to write your scripts. You can use it to help you come up with a word or come up with a way to finish this sentence. But don't just tell it, don't just tell it research and write this in this style. No matter how hard you try, it's going to suck. Okay? Write it yourself. And finally, the call to action. After you've validated your idea and packaging, you've put them right in the middle of the action while confirming the click. It's been emotional and remarkable. High stakes. You haven't given away the conclusion yet, but you've made them need to watch to the end. You've had great storytelling. You've had characters that have gone on emotional journeys from start to finish, from A to B. They've changed along the way. They've gotten into conflicts and overcome obstacles. There's a reason for them doing all their actions. You've given hooks and payoffs. It's been an emotional roller coaster. There's been high highs and low lows. You've used but and therefore, never and then. You've constantly reminded the audience what's at stake. What are they going to lose? What is going to go wrong? You've given teasers to keep them watching until the end. And you've actually wrote the script because of these productivity tips I've given you. Once you're done with all of that, you have the call to action. At the end of the video, you want to hook the viewers again, but not for the video, for your next video. If you wrote an insanely good script and made an insanely good video, that should do a lot of the work for you, right? When you finish watching a Fern video, you just want to watch another Fern video. It doesn't matter what they say at the end, right? But for those of us that aren't funded by a venture capital firm and have insane storytelling, insane filmmaking skills, we're going to need to use a call to action, right? And the easiest way to do this is make the next video seem even better than what they just watched, right? If you thought this was insane, check out this video about a serial killer who killed even more people, who's even smarter, something like that. Use superlatives. Just rip off the title. When the little, at the end of your video, when it has a little suggested next video in the end, right? The viewer's watching, they get to the end. Ooh, you want to watch this video next? Doesn't actually have the title in there until they hover their mouse over it. It just has the thumbnail, right? So when in your script, rip off the title. Say this next video is about the most violent serial killer instead. In your script, you say, but if you thought like the smartest serial killer was interesting, whatever, that's not great. But just wait till you learn about the most violent serial killer who killed over 250 people, whatever it is. Now, all of a sudden, they want to watch that video, right? So with that, that's all I got for you boys. However, if you want to see me break down a Fern video from start to finish, basically all their filmmaking techniques, all their scripting techniques, everything they just watched, it might even be more useful for you than this video right here. See what I did there? Anyways, click on screen right now. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.